Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Performance in Motion with your host, Dr. Dennis.
Okay, athletes everywhere, San Diego, California, and beyond. We're back, and we're here today with the owner of WS Radio, my friend and client, Mr. Wade Taylor.
Thank you for having me join, and just if I may, kind of as just a little housekeeping, you mentioned athletes, but also parents of athletes and all parents. You know, you made me aware of something that I wasn't aware of, and that is that my child could have some, I don't want to call them developmental disabilities, just some bad patterns starting to happen at a young age that can have a ripple effect through their life.
True.
And you made me aware that there is an assessment that could be done maybe around first grade, right, to
Yes.
make sure that they get a good start. And that's when they're going to be kind of joining organized sports, and it's really going to be amplified.
Right.
But what is this test, and where do I find more about it?
Well, it's called the Functional Movement Screen, and I'm one of a handful of professionals in San Diego that are actually certified. So you don't want to just look it up you can look it up online, but you really want someone with a background that utilizes that plus. I've dedicated over 30 years to analyzing movement. So this screen is great because I can test, let's just say, an 8 or 9-year-old every month, give feedback to the parents, to the coaches, to help design programs and really address these areas of weakness and dysfunction.
Okay, and where do I learn more?
So my website is www.drdeniza.com, or you can call and text me directly at 619-807-6571.
Okay, so Dr. Deniza, and so again, that's DRDENIZA.com. And all of this grew out of us reviewing your history. Again, I'm the example of if you don't exercise, what problems can you have? You're the example of if you are an athlete, what problems can you have? And that whole discussion stemmed from, in the last segment, us talking about your tendency, I don't know the right word, proneness to twisted ankles that made you aware of underlying problems. But I know, even before we get into your dramatic fall, you know, that's a story in and of itself, while you are moving into the ranks of pro hockey, what other ways were you beating the heck out of yourself?
Well, unfortunately, the year that I got scouted by the St. Louis Blues, sort of like AAA team like in baseball, I went to chase after the puck, and a gentleman decided to put his stick across my head, so I landed on my knee awkwardly, and in short, soon after, I started having knee pain, and soon after that, I basically couldn't walk up and down stairs.
Oh, okay. So now, did something break? Did something be displaced? It seems like that should have been a traumatic shock from the get-go rather than a slow build. What was happening in your knee?
Well, nowadays it's called a medial meniscal tear, and to be honest with you, they do what's called an arthroscope. So they pretty much put a scope inside your knee to see the damage, and it's really easy to clean up. Very quick rehab on this. Unfortunately, it was misdiagnosed 30 years ago, and me being the OCD type A
gung-ho.
Yes. I was still squatting, 500-600 pounds, and my body eventually said, hey, you can't do this anymore. So literally I was about to get surgery, and at the time they had this idea through the health insurances called a pre-existing condition, which basically canceled my ability to get the surgery the first time and the second time with a different insurance company. And I think that God said, okay, you want to stop this man, we're not going to stop him. So I met a gentleman from Russia who was on the Olympic team in judo. This guy was as wide as he was tall, and with his Russian accent said, I will call you my Russian bear, and I will help you become strong again.
Oh, wow.
And folks, it worked. I was taught principles of strength training. You had mentioned the Bulgarian methods. Yeah, I got it from the horse's mouth. You can go online today through Google, and you cannot put together the program that he customized for me 32 years ago.
Wow.
So in short, I didn't need surgery, and my kneecap kind of sits in a tilted position, but other than that, I was able to skate, run. I had no limits.
Interesting. And so was the basis of that strengthening everything around it?
That was part of it, and increasing my flexibility, which this is one of my other principles, not just my principles. This is the neurology with the physiology. So basically, and here's a little bit of physics, so I have my science hat on. So when you extend your arm, sort of like for a biceps curl, when it's fully extended, this is where you could generate the most power.
Okay.
Most people in the gym go about halfway or even three-quarters of the way. So they're actually cheating themselves, and they're not being efficient like we talked earlier. So when we have the proper flexibility, then we give our bodies the potential to be as strong as they can be, but also prevent injuries.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how I don't know if science or whatever has proven out a lot of what was, for lack of a better word, kind of fringe or woo-woo. I remember back in the day, sorry, let me give you this predicate. My dad was a college baseball player, pitcher, and was, I think, going to make it into the AAA and everything. So kind of exposure to athletic thought at that time. And that was back in the day when you don't exercise, you don't lift weights, you don't do stretching. All of that will interfere with your pitching. And now they're discovering, no, for instance, the stretching, by lengthening those muscles and giving them as much flexibility, is where a lot of the power is coming from these days, right?
Yeah, and just to add to that, so starting with proper flexibility leads to proper core activation, which creates stability. And from that, then we're able to generate the power, the speed, the agility, whatever it takes to perform optimally in any sport that we choose.
Yeah, and how much is that unappreciated because people still think it's the pushing of weight or whatever that's the critical first step, when, as you're pointing out, no, it's preparing your body to push that weight that's the critical first step.
And everything that you're saying. So let's look at some of the strongest human beings in the world. Gymnasts, right? A lot of these female gymnasts in the Olympics weigh 85 pounds. They are stronger than any average dude in the gym that's 250 pounds and may even be doing steroids. They'll blow them out of the water. The reason being is they have the perfect balance of flexibility, core activation, and muscle strength. Now, look at a martial artist. Same deal. The difference, and actually a dancer also. So what they have in common is they train at different angles, different planes. It's not linear. We are not linear human beings. But if you train linear, you create dysfunction, you create asymmetries.
Yeah, and so let me just throw this in. So for those listening that are weightlifting focused, put down the barbells. Barbell's great for, I need to push weight to, kind of have the mass. But put down the barbells a lot and pick up the dumbbells and force your body to use all those stabilizing muscles, right?
Absolutely. And that is tremendous advice. And I think anyone out there that's listening can apply it today or tomorrow.
Exactly. Because, again, it is about the core. And, as we are working together, that's where we're starting, right? The first set of exercises that have made a visible difference for me have nothing to do with weights and everything. It's just getting my body stretched out so that it's moving properly. So you've definitely emphasized to me core.
And so with that, it's movement patterns versus an exercise. So a bicep curl would be an exercise with resistance. The movement patterns that I'm teaching you involve all of that core muscular that we talked about, right? Many muscles working together synergistically to create balance, control, and coordination.
And how about in this final minute or so emphasizing the weight of your body is sufficient load to do a lot of this stuff. Don't worry about, but I've got to grab a weight. To start out, your body is enough, correct?
I'd say for 99.9% of the people, yes. And so we're coming to the end of our third segment. And, wow, this is flying by. And looking forward to hearing a little bit more about Wade and how his training has changed. This is Dr. Dennis. You're listening to WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.